Hi, it's Greg Winters with Personal Dog Training. Welcome to the Calls with Clients podcast. This is episode 10, Doberman Puppy Problems. This guy has a 9-month-old Doberman puppy that's just starting to do all the typical things. And he's actually the father-in-law of episode 9, but this guy actually hired me, and you'll hear at the end how we did. Thanks for listening. It's Greg Winters from Personal Dog Training. How are you?
Good, Greg. How are you?
Good. So I got your message yesterday, and I guess what Dr. Mike at Saguaro tell you about me? Is that what?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
My son-in-law Omar talked to you over the last couple of months.
Yes.
But he hasn't. Originally, I was just going to fall in with him and get with you. We have pups from the same litter.
Okay.
And he's just procrastinated.
Yeah.
They have so much going on that I don't know what they're going to do, and time is fleeting.
I agree. I'm like you. I'm more proactive. So I have talked to your son-in-law a couple times. I'm still here for him when he's ready. But I obviously I'm ready to go at all times personally here. So
right.
Doberman Pincer puppy. How old is your puppy?
She's right at 9.5 months.
Okay. And then are there any particular issues you're experiencing, or you just want to work on it in general? Things?
She's generally quite cooperative.
Okay.
She is in that teenage stubborn period.
Okay.
A little bit. And but she's got a great attitude.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
Very, very good dog. We've had two long-term Dobies over the years, and this would be our third one.
Great breed, really is. I mean, I was scared of them as a kid because the only ones I saw were mistreated and aggressive. But when I became a dog trainer, started actually being around, they just have great. Generally, I mean, they can go crazy. They can go sideways. Like I think one of Omar's is a little crazy, maybe. But sometimes they can go a little haywire. But generally, very sweet, docile, sensitive dogs actually, and smart.
They're beyond comprehension, in terms of their abilities to understand what's going on around them.
Very smart. And again, like I said, very sensitive too. People see this big dog and they start treating it, maybe yelling at it or even physically harsh. And they're sensitive. They're very sensitive, all the dogs are, they're all sweethearts. They're bred well. They've been breeding them for temperament. So, okay, so I guess general stuff and things I always want to check off on because I meet a lot of dogs at 8 weeks old and we raise them from very young ages. Potty training's on point. You're not having trouble with that. You're not having separation anxiety. No obvious things like that. Overexcitement or jumping or pulling. Anything.
She's doing a little jumping and pulling.
Okay.
She gets excited.
That's all normal.
But when she sees somebody that she really likes, she jumps on them.
Okay, and we'll help you deal and understand that kind of stuff and how to work on it. It's not that we want dogs to enjoy people, but we find that if they only interact with people in an excited manner, that's how you have forms of reactivity, where the dog wants to pull towards people when it sees them because everybody represents that over-touching excitement. Or if they interact with other dogs and it's always overexcited and over-touching, the socialization will get off. And you'll also start getting that kind of reactivity where the dog's trying to pull to every dog it sees. That's a socialization problem as far as I'm concerned, Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if you looked at my website, but I can send you a list of the program descriptions. But I basically do private training. I come to you. We'll start working. What's the dog's name?
Pinky.
Pinky?
Pinky.
Pinky. That's cute. That's good.
We had our previous dog was a Min Pin.
Oh, cool.
So the Min Pin passed away. She was a great little pup, but
sure.
My wife was resistant to another Dobie.
Yeah.
So I had to sweeten the pot, and
means you can name it.
Name her Pinky, and she, she's a pretty soft puppy, honestly.
Yeah.
So
that's good. That's what you want in the end. I have a 9-month-old puppy myself. My other dogs passed away. And I got a dog 7 months ago now, and he just got neutered, and so I help my clients raise a lot of dogs, but I also know what it's like to have a young dog, and and I also watch a lot of my client dogs that come and stay with us. So I have client dogs that have been staying with me every vacation for 10 years.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah. So when we have to socialize Pinky, we want to do it with dogs. These dog trainers don't know the dogs they train at all. They don't know them. They train them a little bit, and then they go on their merry way. They don't really spend time with them. These dogs come and stay in my home. I don't have a training facility. My house does not look like a training facility. That's why you may hear a heavy breathing, because I have a 170-pound Great Dane sitting on the couch next to me with a cone on his head because he has allergies and going after his foot. He's breathing heavy, and I got 7 dogs at my house right now. 2 are mine and 5 are the alumni. Summertime, they're all going to watch the dogs. So, Pinky, we got just general puppy stuff we want to do. We want to make sure she also gets along with other dogs really well.
Exactly.
And the dog park.
That's where we are.
The dog park, the doggy daycare. I know there's no other options, and random meetings with friends and family dogs, hoping it works out. I have a blueprint for you. We'll teach you some skills. We'll teach you some of the behavior commands I teach, like walking past other dogs calmly is part of the socialization. Being able to do a place command around other dogs that are there and not jump all over them is part of the socialization process. And then they get to meet dogs, and we get to find out if Pinky wants to jump all over them, and if she jumps all over the dogs, we'll stop her and teach her to read them better, Because one of the misconceptions is that all dogs like to play physically, and they jump all over each other like a bunch of maniacs. I can prove over and over that's not the case. They're supposed to hang out, mainly chill out together, have these relationships, play a little bit with each other, and the playing is never as physical as anybody. It's not as physical as people think it's supposed. All the physical stuff you're seeing is not good. Basically, a lot of the high-end physical stuff. Dogs jumping into each other, chasing each other down, and rolling each other, and it's too much, So we'll get her to understand how to be. Has she met some dogs?
I'm sorry?
Has she met any dogs?
Yes, her sister certainly.
Okay, yeah.
And they're guilty of the rough play.
Yeah, and the only thing we worry about there is that your dog will come in and jump on a dog that doesn't want to be played with or touched and hasn't been through this process and gets aggressive and attacks your dog. It happens all the time. So people don't realize, my dog's all friendly, and it's friendly with a dog that's not friendly. It can't read them. It doesn't know the difference. So we'll start teaching your dog. If it wants to overtouch a dog that doesn't want to be touched, we'll correct your dog and teach your dog to have the right type of relationship. Because a lot of the dogs here, all these dogs are going to recognize that kind of overtouching dog and want nothing to do with her. They're going to want to stay away from her, most of them, because they're going to be like, oh God, you got to shut her down a little bit, She's fun-loving, but again, she'll get herself in trouble probably, more than likely. I'm going to send you my program descriptions and costs, but they're basically, I do private training. The first hour is $125, and then after that we put you into one of the private training programs.
Okay.
And they are 3 sessions for $375, 5 sessions for $550, 7 sessions for $700. I don't advertise it on the website, but I do the board and train as well, where the dogs can come here and learn. A lot of people love to have their dogs. I meet them at 8 weeks, and then they have all their shots at 4 months old, and they come and stay for a week or 2 at 4 months old, just to get a big imprint of being around other dogs at a very young age. That's $150 a day if the dog ever stays for board and train, but we mainly do private training. I come to you and do it, then we go out in the real world, and then you come over to the house, and we meet the dogs, and we just go whatever issues and goals that you have. Make sense?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a very sweet dog. One other thing to check off on is we do put collars around dogs' necks, so it's a neck collar with a leash it's a plastic collar. It allows for physical correction. So if a dog pulls or goes for something it shouldn't, we try to do the physical to verbal so the dog understands what we're asking it. So the reason we do a physical correction is so that the verbals work, basically, right? Just so most people get that right away. So just something to check off on. Once in a while, I run into what I call a rescue world mentality, which is, what do you mean we have to correct the dog? A person who doesn't understand we're going to say no to the dog is not going to be able to help that person. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I'd rather be the person in charge than have the dog in charge.
Yeah, and it's just as simple as being a parent to a child. I look at this whole thing as their children were parents. I don't look at it as dog training. I don't look at it as any of the old alpha stuff. I look at it as literally we're supposed to have the knowledge to know how to help this raise this creature. You know, so yeah. What part of the valley do you live in?
I'm in Old Town Scottsdale.
Okay, and do you want to look at? Do you have any other questions for me, or do you want to look at schedules and see when would work? So we're currently working with this dog, and they're doing really good. It's a very sweet Doberman puppy girl, and just happy that we're able to assist him, especially since his wife was skeptical about having such a big dog and getting a Doberman Pinscher again. Thanks for listening to the Calls with Clients podcast. It's Greg Winters with Personal Dog Training. Thanks for listening and learning with us. Remember, you can also go to pdtlearningseries.com to learn on your own the same techniques that I teach to my private clients.